everybody. So during the past 6 to 7 weeks of quarantine with my wife Seiko and our daughter Charlotte, we've had the opportunity to be at home together every day and pretty much all day. It's been a great change since we would usually get home at sunset and, being outdoors all day, we would need to clean up, settle down, and relax on the couch for a few minutes. So our time with Charlotte would be pretty limited in the evening. We'd make dinner, we'd eat quickly so Charlotte wouldn't have to wait for us. We'd give her a bath and put her down for the night. Have you ever felt like it was a race against time to allow or just to follow your schedule? But now, we make breakfast, lunch, and dinner as a family or typically together, and we spend a lot more time throughout the day. But being at home, we've actually been busier than ever. So there's been a learning curve, and many of the struggles around trying to tag team the time that we spend with Charlotte, especially the times that she insists on like our attention and we are both busy and we need to get things done. Seiko would say, "Hey, Aki, are you able to get her now?" Or, maybe on Sunday she'll, "Hey, Aki, it's your turn." And, I know it sounds kind of horrible that I'm saying it out loud, but I guess when I'm busy, I do the same to her. But, it's quite the challenge each week, and we continue to navigate this process to make it better and more enjoyable for everybody. There's a silver lining to this all that, Charlotte, who's a month away from 3 years old, she's learned to play pretty much by herself, play golf by herself. And we've been able to experience these beautiful moments, moments that we've always dreamed of. So we've extracted three key things when implemented correctly will allow your child to learn golf extremely fast and, with very limited and simple instruction and with less than a few minutes a day and done with all of their own rules. So she's gone from trying to like sweep the ball like a hockey stick, like left and right, and missing it most of the time to like discovering that now she whacks it right-handed and she hits it nearly every time and even getting some balls airborne. It's so incredible to see. So, I remember the first time she did hit it in the air, like me and Seiko's like, "Did you see that, Aki?" And I'm like, "Oh yes." So what do? We were the crazy parents that went and tried to get our phone and want to film it. And, we put her on the spot. "Can you do it again? Do it again. We want to show it to grandma and grandpa." And, of course she said no. We basically scared her away from wanting to do it. So let's get into it. I do want to spend the next, 7 to 10 minutes or so sharing with you the three keys to get your child like extremely good at golf really fast and under their terms. So first, you want to create frequent exposure to golf. We never once, told Charlotte to play or asked her to play before she even knew what it was. It was her seeing it from time to time at home that got her to ask what it was. So we eventually showed her and demonstrated for her. It was being patient and not forcing anything, which allowed us to get to this point almost 3 years later, plus, the coincidental timing of, quarantining at home. So now that we're working from home, we've built our workstations in the house and in the yard, and we've got like clubs like everywhere. And so Charlotte, she gets more exposure seeing us swing it at home, shoot videos. She's watching through the window, knocking on the door, and eventually like one day she just walks out the sliding door, grabs our club and starts whacking all the balls on the ground, tennis balls, wiffle balls, ping pong balls, and if you've ever seen a 2-year-old swinging a golf club, an adult golf club, it's pretty amazing to see them move it, but it's also funny to see them like try and swing something that's bigger than them. So, again, after a couple minutes, she just got bored, decided to, make a huge mess of the place, dump all the balls everywhere. But to see how much fun she created for herself, that was like really amazing. We have families and friends who are avid golfers that try to teach and coach their kids as soon as like they can hold a club. And after a few months or sometimes even years, they stop playing and lose all interest. There was no passion and excitement that grew with the game, and they basically got trained out of any part of it. The majority of excitement came from parents when their child, hit the ball, hit a great shot. Like I remember, like again, when she hit it in the air, me and Seiko went like crazy and wanted to film everything and share with everybody, and we just kind of scared her off. So, you want to play the long game. And if you really love golf and your child loves golf, be patient and just continue to create exposure. Second, create frequency that doesn't overpower the fun. So, After the first time, Charlotte started going out in the yard every single day on her own, whenever she felt like it. She did the same thing, poured all the balls out, started swinging away and making a huge mess. Can you imagine, my response after seeing it another day? Like I went outside, I was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? And I'm implying that she's doing it all wrong because she's making a mess everywhere. Then I realized, the magic that was there. She was creating her own environment. She was creating her own fun. I saw her face laughing and smiling and jumping all over the place, and I kind of just melted away. And all of that cleaning up was well worth it after that. I found out the secret to her success and fulfillment around playing golf. And that's, any golf parent's dream. I've coached golf, for about 12 years now and coached over 1,000 families over the years. But I fully never understood, like, until that moment, what a parent goes through when making these decisions for their kids. We get blinded by our love for our children and we only want the best. So, for me, I was initially upset about Charlotte making a mess 2 days in a row, assuming like she knew what she was doing, she did it on purpose, but we have this perfect picture that's in our head and how it needs to pan out, and based on the experience that we have or we went through. So I remember as a kid, like I got into a lot of trouble, right? And I did crazy stuff, but I guess that was my creativity that allowed me to enjoy with my friends, my peers, my parents, and that's what kept everything consistent. And it kept my own personal drive, not necessarily by myself, but through the environment that allowed me to do it consistently. So finally, be the parent and control the amount of exposure. After seeing Charlotte get there and want to golf on her own, it's then that we started to ask her, like, do you want to do more golf? And she said, like, yes. And well, sometimes she said yes. But it was so exciting and amazing to hear her say, like, Daddy, more, Daddy, more. Like, Daddy, I hit it. That was like something I always dreamed of hearing. So, what followed next was probably the hardest thing that I had to do with her so far, like in this. It was to stop her from having fun after just a couple minutes, even when I knew she wanted more. As I saw patterns from the previous day, she would only last a couple minutes. Before she was over it, she'd like fling her club out like a frisbee, like letting me know, or maybe she was just playing, but that she had enough. Although she wanted more, I knew, she would be more excited in the future if she had finished golfing that day, more excited than when she started, and that's the key to building longevity in playing golf. I fully believe that playing golf or doing anything consistently, like over the long term, will allow any result or goal to be hit every single time. Like it's a mindset shift to like when, as opposed to like how or what to do. I discovered, somewhere years back that there's an art around telling children they can't do it anymore. Normally we would tell Charlotte would have a fit every time we take something away if she's watching something like a music on YouTube. But this was the perfect opportunity for me to like to try this thing out. So then instead I said, Charlotte, do you want to help me clean up? And then we'll go get a surprise for you playing nicely, having fun, and then helping me clean up. And so, she got overly excited, like she dropped everything. She ran out there, started picking up all the balls and like started putting them in the bucket. And when she finally cleaned up the yard and she said like, oh, I'm done, surprise please. And then I kind of just laughed and, I took her in the house and we went to go get a piece of dessert from the icebox. So this parental controlling of exposure is the number one thing that I now know that most parents misinterpret. We often hear from parents that we continue to give our child more because they love it and I want them to keep loving it. But the reality is it's very counterintuitive because as parents, we make all the decisions for our children. Just as we monitor the television, we monitor their video games, we select the correct type of school for them, we select the best fit coaches for their sports. It's not because we have to, but we understand they're too young to comprehend all that's going on and, they're not yet mature enough to make these decisions for themselves. So golf decisions are no different. To wrap this all up, we can truly get extraordinary results from home and with making just simple adjustments based on like our consistency. Just like Charlotte tried one day like to hit a ball, and she like missed it because it was like inches from her foot. Like she stood back and then like she smashed the next one, right? She went from nearly zero experience to getting the ball, like hitting it almost every time and getting some balls in the air in like 30 days. You know, most of us and our children already know how to play golf. We have some skills, you know, we have specific instruction that we got, and we have the ability to be consistent even just for several minutes every day. You know, imagine your child who loves golf, you know, they love playing, but, you know, they feel like they can't do it at home, or, you know, they feel like it takes a long time, so they would rather do something else. You know, it doesn't take tremendous amounts of time. It takes a few minutes a day consistently being exposed, you know, not necessarily playing or swinging, but also learning and making adjustments along the way that drives the greatest results. So remember, our three keys are to create frequent exposure. You want to create a frequency that doesn't overpower the fun, and finally, be the parent and control the amount of exposure. You know, if you have a passion for golf, or you know your child loves it but doesn't know how to do it, or your child's already practicing frequently but needs an expert coaching or an expert coach to like help break through some of their struggles, you know, we've designed, you know, a 5-day instruction and coaching program that allows your juniors to build their creativity, you know, create their discipline, their consistency around their schedule, and build in additional high performance habits that will improve their overall fulfillment in life. You know, best of all, we encourage parents to help and join in this learning process with your children, you know, and this coaching process, so you can enjoy like this journey together towards like your children's dreams. You know, so if you want to learn more about this program, like please click the link down below in our description.